What's up, guys? Alright, so this is going to be the first video of the channel. There's going to be no cuts, no edits. There's going to be, it's long videos, so you're going to have to bear with me. And I'm hoping my phone stays focused. I don't have any cameras. I don't have any GoPros. Don't need them. I got a phone. If I'm out in the woods, ain't gonna need them. Ain't gonna need a phone, ain't gonna need a camera. I'm stuck in the house, feeling like shit, kind of sick. I got all this stuff around me, and I said, well, why not start the channel today? So my channel is gonna be basically about fishing, hunting, maybe, if I get my license, and bushcraft and prepping. Basically, prepping will be 70% of it. That is the goal. My plan is to start a company with prepping backpacks. Basically, it's going to be, you can choose your backpack like you would in a video game. You can change, pick your whole tier. So you have your backpack, you have your knife, you have your stove, you have your cook set, you have your hatchet, you have whatever you want to add into it, all the way down to, little accessories. And also on the site we'll have hundreds and hundreds of items that you can buy. Small little stuff, can openers, flint starters, little bottles like this to put into your bag, your bug out bag, little sponges to add to your cookware set. Little tiny shit like that, just to help. Let me turn this light down. There, how's that? So the website will be down the road. It's going to take some time. I got to find someone to foot an investment, because I don't have it, but I have enough stuff to make one backpack to show someone and explain everyone the site. And down the road, I'm also going to write a book, basically prepping and bushcraft for dummies, if I can. That is the goal, and it'll probably be about this big. So, 2 minutes and 30 seconds in, I'm basically going to go through my whole smorgasbord of what I carry in my bag. Why are people messaging me? So, I'm going to go down to every little trinket down the line of what I have that is going to go into my prep bag, bug out bag, and carry when I'm walking the woods. And yes, I will carry all of this because who knows, maybe I'll be spending 3 nights out in the woods. Oh wait, no, I'm gonna fish for more, so I'm gonna spend 5 days. So it's always good to have stuff like this. I'm gonna go knives and stuff to carry in your bag for cutting, for chopping. I don't have my axe and hatchet with me. That's somewhere else. We're also going to go down flashlights that I will carry in my bag as well, all the way down to budget flashlights that you can do. You can buy good flashlights or cheap flashlights. And that's what my site's going to be. You can pick a expensive ass bag for $1,000 or cheap Walmart set that you can finagle into a bag that is cheap. So you weigh your options. So, all right, we're going to start with flashlights because that's simple. And headlamps, too. So, I carry usually either or. Expensive, cheap. And I actually prefer the cheap. And I'll explain why. So, here's a common expensive flashlight, zoomable, nice and bright. 18650. Has 3 modes or 4 modes, however you want to see it. And then you have your simple ass Walmart shitty 3 battery flashlight. Now let me show you. We're going to go bright and then we're going to go dim. Well, the battery in here is practically dead. So there's the 3 dim modes, which they're not that bad if you compare. So the cheap one, what I do, throw the stupid 3 freaking battery container away, because you don't need it, and AAAs are fucking expensive. Yes, I will be swearing a lot on this channel. No, I don't care. Sue me. I buy these adapters. They're 99 cents from China. I buy 10 or 15 at a time because I'll buy a 10-pack of these flashlights at a time. And I like to get them from Harbor Freight because they have the warranty. So this is how they normally come, with the 3 battery insert, which ends up corroding anyway. Corrodes the spring, corrodes the contact inside. So get rid of them. These adapters you can get from China. They're all the same threads. They might not be the same diameter, but who cares? $2 is $2. $30 is $30. Still runs the same battery inside. And if you break it, you drop it, you break the LEDs, throw it away. It's that simple. And actually, this may be really bright, but this is decently bright for $2. So those are the 2 flashlights that I will carry in my bag usually. I don't have the other headlamp that I usually use either, but this is the one I generally carry because it's compact. It uses AAAs. I have my normal 18650 dual battery that lasts a long time. And I love this little dinky headlamp because it's cheap. You can get them at Walmart. Oh, it's dead. Okay. Oh well. Well, so yeah. This is by Coast. You can get them at Walmart. You can get the 3 battery AAA, or you can get the AA. And I prefer the AAA because it seems to be a little bit brighter with the 3 AAAs versus the 2 AAs. This is the sleek compact one that I like to carry in my bag. The 18650 one is big and bulky. I mean, it's got a head on it like this, and it's probably that much rounder, and it is brighter by a long shot. So I usually try to carry either or. You have your expensive or you have your cheap. I prefer the cheap because it's from China. It's huge. Yeah, it's clunky, but it's really freaking bright, and it's got some distance. And like I said, 18650s are cheap. And now let me explain to you how I get my 18650s. And I have a million of them. I go to my local transfer station, find drill batteries, and I get a lot of them for free. Most of the time it will be packs of 18350 or 2700s that'll be inside the packs. But 99% of the time I've gotten used to figuring out which ones are which. So if I need the big ones, then I'll get the big ones. But if I need 18650s, I will just pick the ones out for 18650. Generally, laptop batteries too will have, let me get one. So here's a laptop battery. This only has 3 cells in it for a big old clunky battery. So this is pretty much not good to get. If you are at a transfer station, you're in the electronics bin, and you find Apple laptops, and I believe Dell 2700s also use 18650s that are really good. The ICR 18650 have great cells in them. These generally are like not that great. They're they say 5200 mAh on them with 3 batteries. I don't believe that for nothing. I've gotten batteries out of, you know, the micro laptops that are, there's 2 little cells in them. Those are good, but they're really hard to find because they're expensive laptops. Down the line, oh yeah, be careful when you tear apart those types of batteries, especially the big drill batteries, because you'll have one dead cell on them and the rest will be fully charged. It's dangerous. Know what you're doing. You can always message me and I can explain to you how it's done. If you don't know how to do it and you don't want to take the risk, don't do it. Find someone that'll do it for you. We're going to go knives and utility. And I don't know where my utility... Oh, right here. Alright. So, these are a few things that I carry in my persons, on my hips, or in my bug out bag, whatever, what have you. If I'm hunting or if I'm chasing animals down, I like to have a wide assortment, or fishing. So I'm going to go with what is in my bug out bag for prepping sake are these 3 throwing knives. Double-sided, cheap as hell to buy, dangerous as hell to use in persons, but if you think of it, these are nice because they have the fork spears. So if you're trying to spear for fish, these are perfect. You already get rope. You could just undo the rope, tie them off, and tie it to a log if you want to. You have 3 of them. I think these cost $8 on Amazon. Best thing to have. No, I don't normally carry these. I don't use them. I don't throw them. I just have them for prepping sake because it is a smart idea to have. And when I'm done with my book, it will definitely explain the proper ways to use throwing knives in multiple different techniques. Whether it's spearing, whether it's throwing, chasing with animals. There's many different techniques. So down the line, my everyday carry pocket knife, this is one of them. This is CKRT. This is the Pillar. I love this little knife. It's short. It's got a 2-inch, or actually that's like a 2.5-inch blade. It's about 3 to the neck. So this is where the blade ends. This is where it actually mounts to. I love this little knife. This is probably my go-to because it has that finger grip. And if you're skinning or shearing fish, it does very well. I actually will do this on small trout or small fish because it has got that edge. And as long as you can sharpen it and have that good straight blade, this is nice to have. You can also switch around the pocket clip to this side, which is nice, so it won't open up in your pocket. Generally, it's got a magnet ball in here, and it usually doesn't open up unless you give it some really good force. But I love this. It's all stainless. I've had it 3 years. I've got it wet in salt, and it still looks brand new. Yeah, I take care of it. There's a tiny spot of rust right here, but it is not that bad. This is what I always have on my hip every day. And then this bad boy is something I only carry in my bug out bag situation. This is a self-defense knife that I will only have if shit hits the fan. This does not leave my house ever because one, it's not legal to have. So I only carry this. Actually, I don't carry this. It's illegal. But I got this as a gift from a friend who was in the military. I basically paid him for it, but it was a gift. It was Microtech Combat Truden, number 556, Series 8, 2008 series, SE. I love this knife. It is big. It's got good grip on it. It's got a window breaker. And it's got a strong push out. This is, I believe, a 4.5-inch blade. And that is why I don't carry it. And it's an OTF. So basically only Leos can have that. That is why it is a collector's knife. Because it does not leave my possession or my house. Alright, so we're going to go the 2 biggest knives that I carry on my persons, in my bag, or in my fishing gear bag. This I love with a passion. This is my Charade CHF 61. Huge huge decked blade. I mean, I've tried to bend this. I've chopped 4-inch logs with this in half. I've hammered the hell out of it with, you know, big clunky logs to cut through logs. It is still sharp to this day. I mean, it just shaved my nail without even just putting it there, not putting pressure. It's sharp. I love it. And then I have a lanyard. And usually if I carry this on my hip, I leave it unclipped because it will not fall out when it's in the sheath. And this, if I need it, I can just pull it out and I have it. This is great because I can fillet. Well, it's hard to fillet, but I've learned how to do decent sized fish with it. But usually I cut logs and split wood. I did my whole bag of fat wood with it. I can even, you know, get fire starter shavings. It's so defined because it's such a wide blade. I can hold it and I can shave with it, which is really nice. It also, the sheath that comes with it, it's got your hip loop. It also does connect to a molly strap down low if you want to leg strap it. I took the leg strap off because I don't like the way it feels on my leg. It also carries the flashlight as well, which is really nice. It's kind of tight, but the flashlight does fit in there. When this adapter's not in there, the flashlight fits perfect. I've seen people that have tiny flashlights that fit in there really nice, but I don't usually carry a flashlight in there. I'll actually put my spare knife in there if I need to, just to get it out of the way. And then we're going to go down to the Mora Kniv. We are 17 minutes in right now. This is going to be probably a half an hour to an hour video. I'm only on weapons. I'm not even halfway through to what I have in this box. Food, cooking, and then compact containers, types of fire starting. So this might be a 2-part video. This is the first video on my channel, and that is fine because I need to get a video out there. I don't really care. This is just the first bullshit video. You can critique it, you can make fun of me, you can talk all the shit you want. I don't care. Words don't hurt me. So, alright, this is my Mora. I have a bunch of these because this is the best knife you can buy anywhere. Anywhere. Anywhere in the world, this knife is your savior. It is the sharpest fucking knife I have ever owned. It is sharper than my cookware kitchen knives that I cut meat with. I have never sharpened this yet. I have owned it 3 years. I have 4 brand new ones in the box for when this shits the bed, which it probably never will, just to have them. And they were cheap, $20 fucking dollars. I want the new stubby Mora, which is really nice, because the blade on the stubby and the handle is probably only that big, and it's good for cutting shaving wood, cutting fat wood, and, you know, precise cuts. Mora makes a really nice blade. As you can tell, it is on the tip. It is dinged up to hell, but piece of paper. Let me make sure I don't need this. Don't know what it is. Oh, I need that. Oh, I need that too. Let's go with a paycheck that I don't need. Like butter. Like absolute butter. I love this fucking knife. If I could get sponsored on this channel by Mora, I would, but they're not a US company. They are made in Sweden. They probably won't like me for talking about their knives, but who cares? I fucking love this knife. It is waterproof on the case to an extent. I drilled a hole in it because I kept getting salt water in here. But it comes pretty much sealed. It's got a nice belt molly. It's got a clip inside if you have it's called a swivel ring that latches on, which is really nice. I had one. I don't have it anymore. But when it's on your hip, when it's on your hip, there's a tab right here, which is really nice. You can just push on it with your thumb and it comes right out. It's got a nice grip, nice rubber, stiff blade, thick deck on it. Yeah, it's all grooved up right here because I've cut a lot of shit with it. Cut a lot of fish, mainly fish with this. I've cut some fruits and veggies when I'm outside. But by far, Morakniv is the best thing to have. And I'll keep saying it. Best, 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 best. Alright, just get these big ass items out of the way. We're going to go with different food items to have in your bag. Things that I carry in stock bulk of. Generally, you don't really need to keep, a big pile of all these. But when they're cheap, like really cheap, I will buy them because they have a long shelf life on some of the breakfast stuff. I know the biscuits and gravy and the scrambled eggs by Mountain House, they have a long shelf life. This one is good for another 8 years. 2027. Best used by February 2027. I bought these 6 years ago. They're still good. They still taste great. Freeze-dried scrambled eggs. I usually bring my seasonings container with it because these plain taste like cardboard. But there's other things that I add to it too. You have your beef jerky. Beef jerky with it is really good. Gives you the good calories, the good energy that you need to keep going. Granted, this is 300 calories per serving, 535 milligrams, which is 178% of cholesterol, 910 milligrams of sodium, 38%. So there is a lot of protein, 44%, 22 grams, and a lot of vitamin A, calcium, vitamin C, and iron. These are great just because this will give you enough energy in one serving to keep going. And they're small and light. The regular Mountain House meals, like even this pack, this little tinky thing, weighs more than this. But this pack, not that big. Small enough to conceal into a pack. Just don't be an idiot and poke a hole in it and then try to fold it and kind of compact it in your bag. That's stupid, because now it's garbage. Or you have to eat it right then and there. Another company that I buy a lot of MRE style food or, quick meals is Wise Food Company. These guys do house prepping meal packages. Basically, they send you for a couple $100, like 60, 70 meals, which last for a week. But I love these because it's actually good food. It's not freeze-dried. It's just ready to go packets that you can use. And they give you recipes to do as well, included with cooking directions. So it's really nice because these taste really good. Probably one of my favorite MRE style food packs. Wiseco Trademark is a new company. They mainly customize or sell for customers that are pretty rich, because they'll buy 400 or 500 meals and just let them sit there. What they don't know when they buy these by Wiseco is their use by, sell by, and no good date is a lot less because it is the natural food. It's not freeze dried. This is already expired. I bought this last year. Usually it's a 1 to 2 year life. The pastas are not going to go bad because the packets of seasoning inside they're not going to go bad. There's no chicken in here. It's just noodles. You could keep noodles for friggin' 25 years and still have a good shelf life. So, let me get that out of the way. Oh, I found my utility knife that I keep on my hip as well. Good to have. I'm not going to show it to you because it's rusty as fuck. I ruined it. Alright, we got to keep moving. So I'm going to just start with cookware and my cook set. Basically what I travel with me while I am on a hike. Woo! Yeah, it's kind of top heavy. This is my best friend. I got this at the Hebron Fair 2015, but it is my cook pot. Cooks enough water to do 3 of these. And I'll show you my stove, which I make by hand as well. It's a special way of doing it. And there's 2 different stoves that I carry with me for many reasons. One, I carry this and my key. So this is always going to be on my bag, on my hip. It's not heavy, it's light. Yeah, it's noisy. I don't care. I can still carry it. I can still travel with it. And then I have my stoves. 2 stoves I carry with me. This is not a normal hobo stove, soda can stove. The soda can is about half the size of this. This is humongous. This is a Foster's keg can that I made into one of these. It is a 0 altitude. Sorry, get the focus in. It is a 0 altitude and high wind set. So I have a roll of aluminum that I keep with me. It's in my bag, which is somewhere packed away. And the aluminum foil is high enough in a circle that it keeps that wind out. And I have these stakes that I stick in the ground, and that way I can put that on top of this, and it is the perfect size to get the temperature to boil. This acts like a heat sink, which is really nice. It pulls the heat. It won't push the heat up here. It gives a nice clean boil. And I've even cooked in here. It's still spotless. I still clean it. I use stainless steel cleaner every time I come back from a hike with it. But it is absolutely wonderful. And everything that I have fits right in here. My stove and all my cookware shit. And then this is the other stove. This is my micro that I keep on my bag. Just to boil enough for maybe 1 serving or something really small. Oh yeah, I always keep rice in my pack too. That's a good thing to have. This is 3 servings of rice right here. Small, compact, and easy to cook. But back to my stove. So I take my fuel that I already have for this, and I fill it up with this. This is not a pill container. This is an actual designed stove. Liberty Mountain makes this. It looks like a shotgun shell, but it is actually a stove. And with the stakes that I have, it will actually, get a nice, like a Bunsen burner style. Just 1 single flame underneath the cup. Sorry, wrong cup. But it will still boil water, just not enough. Not a lot like this would do. It will probably take 5 minutes to boil water with this. This I can boil 3 gallons of water. With how big this thing is and how much fuel it holds, and the way I have the insulation in here to retain the fluid, 1 whole bottle of heat. It's a yellow container of heat that's this tall. I believe it's 26 fluid ounces will fit in this. A normal soda can will fit maybe 2/3 of that. I take this, for instance. Actually, I pour, for a regular soda can stove, I fill 1 of these up for a regular soda can. I fit 6 of these in this. 6 fills of this versus 1 soda can only holds 1. So that makes a big judgment call. And I can make these for anyone. I will charge you an ass load because it takes a long time to make these really well and to get these cut right. And I will make a whole kit for you. Alright, so back to what I have in my cook bag. We're at 30 minutes and 11 seconds. Nalgene as well. These tiny ass little bottles are awesome because one, they will not let fuel eat through these. So you can carry fuel if you have a small stove like this. Also, these are really dangerous. So do these away from shelters. If I find out someone on my channel burnt a shelter down, you're getting deleted. Oh yeah, so Nalgene bottles. Those are good to have. You can buy a pack of 20 of these at EMS for, I think, 18 bucks. Another thing I have, a foldable spork. Because it's free, it comes with a thing of applesauce for kids that you buy at Walmart for $1. And you get one in each one. I love these. This one I don't carry with me. I just use this for demo purposes because it's not in a package. I'll bring the package with me just to keep this sanitized. But these are awesome because you already have a knife with you. You can already cut all your shit, and then this is your food. And it's long enough to get inside here to scoop food out. You can touch the bottom with it. Well, this is a long video. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't care. So, I don't have my coffee kiln yet. It's coming. It's basically a little coffee strainer that fits inside of this. It's a custom design thing that my friend's making me, that it sits in here and it doesn't fall in. And I can actually put the coffee filter in with the strainer and then pour my boiling water. Oh yeah, what I also do when I make boiling water is I'll put it in here for a few minutes just to keep that temperature in there. And I also have a sleeve that goes in with this, and then when I pour the coffee, I'll pour it in through that, and then I can fill this up with regular water or keep the boiling leftover water that's sanitized, which is really nice to have. So I carry coffee filters with me sometimes because I love my coffee. Coffee creamer packets. Gotta have my creamer. I can't drink it black. Never could. Never will. Sponge to clean my container. This one's getting chucked. This one's pretty old. But this is always good to have because you need to clean your shit after. My spice rack. I'm Italian. I need my flavor. And I have a lot of spices in here. My salt and pepper shakers are 2-liter bottle caps. I have them somewhere in one of these containers. What I'll do is I'll take the salt and pepper and pour it in there, and then I'll put it in here instead of these bags, because what am I going to do with empty bags out in the wilderness? Leave them somewhere? No. So I have two different types of salt. I have rock salt and pink sea salt. And then I have oregano, cumin, chili peppers, garlic powder, and bouillon cubes. And I absolutely love making little soups, natural food soups out in the woods, because it is easy to do, especially when you have a stove that holds a shit ton of fuel. I mean, in a prepping situation, that's not really ethical, but if I'm out, fishing for a couple days out in the woods, out on the edge of the water, I will do this, and I'll cook food while I'm fishing. It's really nice to do. It lets the time go, and then you have something to eat when you're done fishing for the day, and then it takes 5 minutes to cook your fish afterwards either. So it's really nice to have, a little spice rack. It is heavy. It takes up a lot of space. But come on, you can't go without flavor. Gotta have that flavor. Alright. Why is there all this junk in here? So we are at 34 minutes, and we're gonna go with this container, and I will explain why I have this big ass bulky container. and all these random ass things. This is always on my pack side because it has everything I need at the ready, literally on the side of my bag. And this is usually in the front pouch, and then I have my med bag as well. So I'll show you what I have in here, and I kind of don't want to take it apart because it's perfectly packed. Spare knife, Dragonfly, Spyderco. This is a really fucking sharp knife, and it's tiny. So I always have that in here because for some reason I drop my knife. That will suck. So, and then I have two of these. These are amazing fire starters if you have the right liquid. I'm not going to say on here what liquid it uses because if you're not experienced, I'm not going to tell you what to do. But if you already know how to do this, then you already know. So it's a two-part system. You have your little container with your liquids, and you have these. You leave them in the packs because they go dead. But in like a flood situation, you can start some serious fire with this. If your logs are sopping wet, I mean like you picked up a soak wood log, you can sprinkle this shit on there with the chemical that I'm not telling you about, and it will start a fire. Guaranteed. I always keep this little dinky ass thing of petroleum jelly on me because I keep, where is it? Oh, it's in here. I keep t-shirt cloth and I keep cotton balls in here too. So if I run out of start pads or whatever, I do that. Oh yeah, this is my salt and pepper shakers. This is really easy to do, by the way. You basically take two 2-liter bottle cap tops, right where the cap stops, and you cut it right off the bottle. Take an old credit card, and you glue them together, and once they're glued together on both sides, you got to use a 3-part epoxy too because it will eventually fall apart in the elements. Yeah, once you do that, then you get a mesh screen that you would find in a like a sink, or even if you go to a smoke shop, you can find them because they fit perfectly in here. I don't have them in here yet, but I use this for the chemical that I use. You drill little holes, one smaller for the salt and then one bigger for this one for pepper, and then you put the screens in here, and then you have to bend one side up, and when you want to use them, you just pop the screen out, put the cap on, and then you can sprinkle. Also, the screens, when they're in here, it will keep everything from falling out, so they're great storage. This is my reserve shelter. If I lose my tent for some reason, it's small enough to build a one-person shelter blanket. It's actually also a gigantic Ziploc bag. I mean like a 300-gallon Ziploc bag. It's like 9 feet long, and it's awesome. So I always keep that because for some reason, and that's good for a bug out situation too, because you know you can store water in this thing, you can store food in this thing, you can make a shelter to get out of the elements if you really need to. It is really nice to have. Also, making char cloth out of cut up t-shirts is also why I have this container. Hold on. Packing this back in, having a hard time. We are at 40 minutes in a little bit. So this is really cool because SOL makes this, and it's, you know, thick and thin enough at the same time. It's light, but also when you have these char pads, you stick a bunch of them in here and you throw them right in the fire pit, right on top of the coals, and it will char the t-shirts. It won't burn them to oblivion, but it will char them enough to where you can use that with your flint striker. You can keep it in another plastic bag if you had to, but it is good for making char cloth. If you're a beginner, you can always YouTube char cloth and learn how to do it. It is very simple to do. You can do it with Altoids cans, which is really nice. So this is my little pack that I always have on me, and it is fucking packed with shit. A straw and duct tape. Always good to have. Yes, you do need that. Water-soluble filtration tabs. I do have a lot more, but I only keep 2 because I usually have a life straw on me. In a bug-out situation, you need a couple hundred of these if you're going to be living out in the wilderness. X-Acto blade. I have this packed in here so tight. So this is part of my med bag. This is, so is this. If I have to do incisions for medical purposes, I always keep these. Usually it's in a Ziploc bag, sealed. And I have my incisions razor blade. So if I have to do like any type of procedure where I have to cut skin and flesh, I do have it. This is my military issue can opener. In a bug out situation, this is your best friend because you can open up cans and eat if you're going to find food. I always have it with me because sometimes I'll forget to bring my, it's like this big, and it's a can opener top. This video is long, but I don't care. I always keep this little Altoids can full of stuff, and this is also good if I didn't bring my SOL container for char cloth. I have this one, and it is filled with small rubber bands that I have a purpose that I don't need to tell you, wax candles that I use to make big candles with, a tack, a nail, matches, and the match striker glued in the lid. And down the road I'll explain why I have this in here. There is a few purpose for it. It is to make a certain thing bushcraft wise that I don't want to talk about right now because it's a long list of stuff. And this is always good to have too in your bag. This is paraffin wax rope. It's about 20 feet, or if not more. It is compact and tight in here. This is awesome because you can make your own candle, and that's where the wax comes into play. If you're bored, you have candle wax or whatever, it makes a great bushcraft candle. And that is just something that I keep in my bag with me. Safety pin. I'm gonna have to repack all this in here. So SLL, Survive Outdoors Longer, makes these. These are cotton flint starters, fire starters. I have these as my reserve, and I will explain why in a minute, because I don't need these, but I have them just in case, because it is in a waterproof container. So if my normal stock of them gets bad, I'll have these. And these are nice because they're threaded, so you can't spread them apart. They'll actually last longer when you use your flint striker. And then I have the SOL micro flint striker, and it works really well. And it is also repairable. You can actually replace the flints. And I actually, somewhere in one of these packages, I have spare flints. I mean, I could spin this wheel all freaking day long and replace it, and I'll never run out. A lot of people, they'll take a Bic lighter, they'll pop the fluid off of it, off the bottom. they'll cut the things out and they'll just have like this much just for the flint striker, which I don't really see the need. I mean, as you can tell how small this is. Everyone carries those massively large flint strike rods. Yeah, those are great. But what happens if you drop it and it snaps? Uh-oh. Mine still works. Best thing to have in your bag. Really hard to find now. The Micra Leatherman scissors. These are small enough and great enough to cut through fish bones. So if you're doing shears or if you're cutting fillets off a big fish, these are really nice. These have glued themselves to the wall, but there's tweezers, flathead, a pick, and then you have your nail file and your knife on this side. These things are shot, but I always still have them with me because they're scissors. They're always good to have. And then my Char Cloth pads. So I keep those with me as well. And this is just something that I keep on my hip because I feel that it is a safety necessity to have this with me. A lot of people will be like, oh, you don't need that shit. It's too much. You need to be minimalist. Well, you're just a weak bitch and don't want to carry it. Because I can carry it. I can carry everything right here. And have a change of clothes and, you know, an axe, a fucking 10-foot sword if I wanted to. It's not that hard to carry shit. I mean, if you're female, yes, you're going to have a very difficult time and you get tired easily. Unless you're in some incredible shape, like some females that I know. They are wonderful to hike with because they are beasts. And I'm just packing this up while I talk. So we're at 47 minutes. And I'm going to talk about medical in a minute. Oh, I was able to get all this back in here. Very cool. So these are great to have. You can get these at Walmart for $1. These little containers. Usually I don't have this veneer on this. I usually carry... Sorry for the noise. This is a Hinckley. A Hinckley veneer. It's a little different. This is big and clunky. This has got that fine point and it's an ultra spring. These tend to break because there's just a metal flap that sits in there. And it's center balanced. So when it's on your hip, see this? This will make it swing. Swing, swing, swing. This, for some reason, it doesn't swing. It won't let it swing. Even though it looks like it will. My keys don't swing. This doesn't swing. It just stays in place. And actually, this isn't the one that I keep on here, but because I have a smaller one. Yeah, so this is the big one that I don't usually keep this on. I have a smaller one that this sits on. But the Hinckley latches are really nice because they actually weigh less than this one. A couple things I wanted to show you before I get into medical, what I keep on my hip or what you could possibly keep on your keys or what have you. This is really nice. This is, I forgot who makes this, but this is another Zippo style torch that you can use your stove fuel for a temporary. It's not filled. It's brand new. These are really cool to have if you need some type of flame starter or what have you. And this is actually my light my way torch. I actually hold this in front of me in the dark, and it's very bright, and it lasts a long time. One fill would probably last me like a good hour of light time. It gets really hot, but and the other thing I keep on me is the TrueFire flashlight and starter. This one actually works. This is really cool because if your flashlight goes out, you have a torch attached to it and a lighter. This one holds a lot of fuel compared to the Pebble. It holds a lot more fuel. I think this was $10 at Target. You can find them at Walmart sometimes. eBay has them for a little bit, and Amazon has them as well. And then this is the micro to the big boy that I have. These you can find on like China websites for $15. This one's legal to carry, even though it's an OTF, because it's only 2 inches. If anything, it's considered a pocket knife. These are really cool to have because you don't have to move your fingers very far. You don't have to fiddle with a knife. Great for self-defense and great for just your keychain. So yeah, those are my keys. Bunch of bullshit. Before we get into medical, like I said, I'm going to do a couple more things. Talk about fat wood. Fat wood is really cool because it is your go-to Kindle, go-to fire start. Really easy to find out in the woods. You have to find a tree that has fallen, and you go into the stump and you shave out with your big old knife the pine. Also, which is really cool to have if you have a nice little container, is you find the sap pockets. They look like pimples on the side of a tree. Cut it off, put the sap pockets in there. That's a great fire starter. Or you can make a torch. Wrap a t-shirt on the end of a log, roll it in the sap, and you have a really nice fire. When I go on a hike that I know I'm going to be cooking with like eggs or meat or fish, and it's going to be a lot of cooking, like I have my 5-inch cast iron pan, I'll bring this because I have another pit that is probably flat, square, and it folds out into a stove that you can fit these in perfectly, and you can have a nice long fire you can, you know, cook your breakfast on too. It's always good to have. Rain poncho, I don't know why that's in there, I don't need it, but it's plastic, and you can actually catch, I use this to catch rainwater. If you need drinking water, you make a tier plank system. It's 4 logs stuck in the ground, and then you have some type of container underneath it. You drape this. You actually cut this into 4 squares so you have some left over. But you drape it and you let it dangle inside the pit. And you can use, you actually pile leaves up underneath it. And it gives it a stability balance up top. Because when rainwater collects, if a lot of it collects, it'll drop really quick. But if you have the leaves take up the tension and take up that space and slowly let it go down, and it will actually stop with the bag in here, and it will drip the water in here, and that's your rainwater collection kit. Just this, and as long as you have your knife, you can cut whatever you got to do to get it. These are really cool too. These World Pack stand-up bags. If you have your water boilers that come in the MRE packs and you don't use them for the MREs, this is really nice because you can actually cook fish in a bag or chicken in a bag that you just hunted in a World Pack. Or it just carries water. It'll carry, I think, 750 milliliters of water, and it's a sealable zipper, which that's really nice to have. You can buy these on Amazon. I think they're $1 a piece, or you buy a pack of 50 for $12, I believe. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Bug out fishing kit. We will get to this in another day. But this, careful of the hooks that I have in here. I have a bunch of hooks in here. Hold on. Alright, so this is an old eyelet off of a saltwater fishing rod. And it is actually my fishing rod. It goes in between my two fingers. I let this line out. I have a couple split shots. I can't, yeah, they're all stuck in there. But I have some split shots in there and some hooks. And it's not hard to dig for worms. Usually what I do, I have a little baggie that this fits in. But for now, I store it in here because I don't know where the baggie went. So yeah. Alright. Oh yeah, tripwire. Really great thing to have in your bag to make snares for hunting and bug out bag situations. Make sure you have the nails. I used this before and I lost the nails. I actually recycled the wire after I was done and it turned out pretty damn good. Doesn't look like a mess. It's just loose up top. But I think it's like 100 feet of wire in here. It's really nice because you can make snares. You can use it to wrap to when you make your shelters instead of using like bark string. You can use this, and this is very small and compact to have. I've had a lot of people tell me that they've wrapped their cook pots with the wire all the way from like the bottom all the way up the top. And they just do that because it gets rid of this clunkiness and it kills two birds with one stone. This is finally the medical. It's not organized with the knives and the X-Acto blades, but that's fine because I don't want them to rust in this. Because, I mean, yeah, it's Band-Aids, but at the same time, you need a really sharp blade for medical purposes. I have my tourniquet somewhere. It's a really nice tourniquet that I got in a box subscription. I'm not going to say the name. Had a fallout with them. They were way overpriced, and they sent me 3 boxes when I paid for one subscription, and they charged me 3 times. And I only paid for one, and I only filled out one. So I have in here everything you need for a medical situation for long term. This is, I don't know, this would last me a year or 2. And I also have this that I usually keep with it on a rubber band. This is a humongous sterile gauze pad. It's a 9x9. I have a 5x5 in here and a 4x4. And then I have sterile pads. I have an eye patch. I think I have over 100 Band-Aids in here. I have a lot of gauze. And then I'll just take some of this out and show you what I also have in here, because this is something you should really, really definitely have in your medical bag, is blood clotting solution. Let's see, where is it? And I have a couple different types. And there's also multiple different ways of doing that. Oh, here they are. So here's my pack of fresh, sterilized, in an oven, X-Acto blades. Alright, so you have your butterfly sutures as well. Gotta have those when you're out, hunting, fishing. If you're messing with your knife, you slice your freaking finger open wide, you need that. Oh yeah. Don't go out in the woods without a notepad and pencil. Alright, so I always keep this with me. This is blood clotting powder. You can buy it at, I believe CVS still sells it, or you can buy it online. I have not seen it online in a long time because I think it's pretty bad health-wise, but at the same time, if you need to stop blood bleed really bad, this is amazing stuff. Gunpowder works too, and that's why I have this. If I use this, worst case, like I said, you want to talk shit about me, by all means, but I've done enough research and I've done enough hiking. I keep 4 22 rounds in this little pack. Safe. It's enough gunpowder to cauterize a wound, and you can actually, once you're done, if you need to set your perimeter scaring people, you can make a nail that hits the tripwire, and it will set the primer cap off, make a loud bang. No bullet, because you already pulled the bullet out and used the gunpowder. So that's always good to have. But if I had time, I would show how to do this. It's already 61 minutes. It's an hour. And I have pretty much talked about everything that I carry in my bug out situation / go bag / fishing travel bag. And it's literally, it fits, all of it fits in this little sack down on the bottom of my bag. I have enough room in my bag for an extra pair of boots, a change of clothes, 2 pairs of socks, a pair of underwear. I always have an ace bandage in there. I always have a windbreaker. I always have gloves. I always have a hat. I always have a bunch of other stuff. I mean, sunglasses, I always keep in there. But in a bug out situation, you don't really need a lot of shit like that. It's more or less what you're going to carry. I've seen people in bug out bags, they have like 3 million fucking knives, a sword, a battle axe, a shield for war, and like a mace, like they have this roll out bullshit that's full of junk. Like, you don't need it. You need just the basic essentials to keep you by for your day to day. I don't see anything here that's in my bag that I would not use in a bug out situation. I mean, the only thing I can think of that I would not use in a bug out situation would be my spare charged 18650s for my flashlights. That's probably the only thing I would not use. Everything else I would definitely use. The throwing stars, maybe. I can fish and catch fish with my fucking travel kit. Oh yeah. This monster. I forgot to talk about this. But yeah, so in a bug out situation, yeah, maybe you don't need fucking flashlights, but because you can make a torch with sap and fucking t-shirt and a log. So what? So this is my bug out bag travel fishing rod. It is a very expensive set, which I should not have paid for, but at the same time, I've caught some serious amount of trout with this thing. Ice fishing, I've used this for. This is mainly for ice fishing, but who cares? It is a Abu Garcia Veritas Ice. And then, you got your little jig, your jig protector, because hooks are dangerous. I've learned my lessons by cutting my fingers open with hooks. And then you have your Shimano Nexave reel. This is great. I love this setup. I've caught giant fish with it. And I usually keep this in my car too, because it's funny, because I'll be at a little stream, just having fun. So that is my go-to bag. Down the road in the channel, I will have a lot more in-depth videos on how to, fire starting, crafting. I can teach you how to craft spoons and forks and knives out of wood or stone, carving for axe heads and for whatever. It's going to go down the list as time goes on. Right now, this is just the first video. So I don't plan on having anyone subscribe right away. I can understand. What? Making a video. Yeah, in a minute. Alright, so I'm going to end it here. I want you guys to critique. I want you guys to talk shit about my stuff. I don't care, because that's how this world is. People like to make fun of or talk about. I don't care. Bash me all you want. This is my life. And if my life has not helped your life, then don't subscribe to my channel. See you later, guys.